Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
Good evening, kids. It's time for the weekly wrap-up. That's right, the two goof-offs showed up for work. Isn't that weird?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I don't need to work, so here I am.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be called work. But I mean, like, all the responsible people didn't show up and the two goof-offs showed up.
Damn it. Yeah. Well, I'll keep showing up until I hit 100,000 subs.
Then you're too big.
Then I'm too big. And then I won't associate with people like you.
You know, you say that, but there's people who have done that.
That's not my modus operandi.
I didn't think so. But look at everybody in the chat. We got Snowdub in the house. How you doing, Snowdub? We got Shanatsky. We got Nicholas Horton. We got Zontar. We got Shadow Dragon. Nicholas Horton, how you doing? Michael Gonzalez is here. Sean Estep is here. We got Michael. Oh, I said Michael Gonzalez already, but welcome again. Bob M. Shadow Dragon. How you doing? We got BLT in case you want one, but that looks like a... Oh, that is bacon. I thought it was chicken for a second there. That's a lot of bacon. Well, there's no such thing as too much, though.
No,
so
no,
that's the thing.
you're right.
We got Das Wolfen. We got Keith Howard. We got Wabbit7777. We got Emotionally Unstable Amphibian. I'm wondering if there's a stable amphibian, though. Oh, that's curious.
Well, they're all emotionally stable.
You think so?
I think so. I think amphibians.
So he's the only one who's not, is what you're saying.
It could be. I think they have pretty good lives.
I'm glad to have the exception to the rule in our chat. We got Shrap 3D here. We also have Jennifer Lawrence is here. Look at that. Jennifer Lawrence herself has graced us.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, we got Andy here. How you doing? And we got Gwagnar here as well. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Hopefully they'll be done here pretty soon over on the WDW Pro and Valiant side of things. And we'll see some more people. But until then, we got the cool kids here. That's right.
Yeah,
we got Action Com here.
Forget those guys. Right. They're just talking.
So, yeah. What was your weekend like? I know I kind of asked you in the background, but for those out there listening,
I had a very good time. I did have an interesting conversation with a diversity, inclusivity, equity executive consultant, and that was kind of interesting, kind of meandering. And
now, did you is this the one where you said that it was like a great conversation, or not a great conversation, but it was a somewhat decent conversation till the end or something?
The very end, and then he went nuts. And the thing that blew up was I have an acquaintance of mine, a programmer, a very shy guy, mentioned in a lunchroom that, you know, he's been listening to Jordan Peterson, and an individual overheard him and got him fired. Mainly because, and this is a fairly medium-sized company, because the complainant was someone the HR department was scared to death of.
I think we're scared to death of a lawsuit, but
and was unfireable because of they hounded him out. Like, he's a sweet guy. He's not a healthy guy, but a good programmer. And they just hounded him out because this one bitch decided that Jordan Peterson is Satan incarnate, and this poor guy who could never defend himself really, and doesn't know really how to, got hounded out, and because the HR department is scared to death of this one woman who is belligerent. And then I was talking to him, and I said, listen, this whole D.E.I thing, I know lots of companies who employees no longer they hardly talk to each other because they're afraid of saying anything bad. And he got really crazy. And then I meant the Jordan Peterson thing, and he just went nuts and said, yeah, he deserved to be fired. I went, what? You can't have an opinion. And then he just went nuts on Jordan Peterson being a racist, homophobe, transphobe, da. I'm not arguing on behalf of Mr. Peterson. He can do that fine himself. But these are people who just won't even go halfway. And I always ask that. And I say, I try to what is called, there's a straw manning an argument. There's something called steel manning, where I'll ask people, you tell me something good about this person that you're cutting down. And this
Right.
person just went nuts. They said it was cause for dismissal because this individual, the programmer, caused grief and anxiety by merely mentioning the name of Jordan Peterson. And then I had it. I went, I left some note to him saying, you're a poisonous individual that should not have a job. So essentially, he countered every single aspect to his diversity, inclusivity, equity argument and this isn't a free speech thing, but all this person did was mention his name, and
Right.
it triggered an individual who everyone else in the company is afraid of, and they won. So anyway, yeah. So when I realized that this diversity consultant who works for the government and for some fairly large companies actually thought that merely mentioning Jordan Peterson's name was sufficient cause for firing, I said, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, really, it wouldn't surprise me if this individual had never actually listened to
Well, that's
Jordan
it.
Peterson in their entire life either.
Sure. But that's a different argument. I'm not willing to get into that.
Well, of
But
course, but
I
yeah.
think of any number of people. I mean, I don't even want to mention the names because it's kind of stupid to say, oh, if that person mentioned Stalin, would they get, I'm not even comparing Peterson to
No,
Stalin.
but you got a point. It's like, is that really a fireable offense unless you're like
Yeah,
saying something that's clearly out of line,
I don't get like that was so this individual had so much hatred. I think it's equivalent to what J.K. Rowling arouses. It's on that same level.
or
And then
like
you have people,
TDS or whatever. Yeah.
please point to the exact, please provide a receipt. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, yeah.
Yeah. But again, I don't get into those arguments. A lot of people do. That's
Yeah.
circuitous. You're not changing anybody's minds. I sometimes do ask that if I'm capable of giving you a piece of evidence that counters 100% your perception, are you willing to accept it? And almost to a person, they say no. And then the other thing I'll often ask is, are you allowed within your support group to have a different and differing opinion on this subject? I have my
That's a
own
good question.
opinions. I don't did it. I said, no. If you went into your support group and said, Jordan is right about this one thing, what would happen to you? Well, he's never right about, he's not at anything. So it's like, it's this, and you learn that they basically have to, they can't capitulate on that. So I ask questions. I like asking questions like that.
Right. No, and it's exactly kind of what, I was saying there is like, what is it? That's what I would ask is like, okay, well, what is it that this individual said exactly that Peterson had said that set this other individual off? And have you actually yourself listened to this person before you made this decision and decided for yourself? Right. To me, I would have been like putting that person on the spot of like, since you're the one who holds the power here, did you actually do your due diligence? Like, I mean, you told them like you're a poisonous person, you're toxic, you shouldn't even be in this position, which I agree with you. But see, I would have led that person to that conclusion myself.
The
Right.
the
But
Peterson
yeah,
argument is difficult because he has said so many things that
right.
I'm not prepared to defend, things that even I disagree with. The problem is that the volume of content that he has provided, you could probably point to something and say, oh, okay, maybe that's homophobic or whatever. But I'm not, number one, who knows how he was feeling that day. The point with, and I mentioned this to an awful lot of people that I have quote unquote debates with, I'll bet you're a nice person. I bet you if we met face to face over a beer or something like that, we'd probably have a really good time. But you're choosing to make this an antagonistic experience. Like, why?
Exactly.
And so I would say 99% of the people that I talk to are probably fine, even with people who have an agenda. And that's the main thing I try to do is find out if someone has an agenda, because then it's not worth having a discussion. Okay, you are now just this is a complete waste of time. We're not having a debate. You are set in your ways. You're not going to change anything. Are you willing to change your ideas? Sure. Yeah, give me the fact. And there are lots of times where I'll go, nah, you know what? You're right on this.
Sadly, there's a lot of people who would rather not believe the evidence that's right in front of them than be proven wrong. That's the other problem.
Evidence is the worst way. Evidence and facts are the worst way to convince anybody.
Yeah.
You can't use that. It's not.
And that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
They already have answers for almost all of them. And then sometimes they'll have like their meme gun, where here's all our memes that sort of prove something, and what's the point? It's kind of, and so then I'll find a way to get them angry, because I might as well have some enjoyment out of it.
Might as well have some fun with it, right? Right. Jonas Campbell says, shout out to all my Hungarians. Represent. Wow. There you go.
Jó estét kívánok! Kedves barátom, hogy vagy? Te vagy magyar?
And we have our favorite one here.
A házba, beszélek Tomval. Tom nagyon szép ember.
And we got a Valiant raid going on. All right. Get your butt in here, Valiant. I know you got to grab something to eat and drink, but yeah.
He's probably talked out.
Oh, he'll be here sooner or later. This is the chill out. This is the fun kids group. Yeah. This is where we just hang out and have fun.
What have I got here? Hey, you listeners, anyone who's not subscribed to my channel, I am under 8,800 away from 100,000. So gold darn it. Gold darn it.
Check them out.
Yeah, you please subscribe to my channel. Even if you're going to delete after I hit 100,000, that's fine. I just want to hit 100,000. I get the plaque and then bail. That's fine.
Well, you know that YouTube likes to giveth and taketh away, right?
They do. And I went through a weird period in December, and then suddenly it just exploded again. So I don't know what I did.
Yeah, and then you'll have the other thing is wherever you get a influx, like a big influx or like a spurt of subscribers, they love to take a chunk away too.
Yeah, I did a very positive towards Polish ethnicity in my Witcher Blood Origin video, and the premise being this is a very ethnically diverse show that has no Poles in it, which I thought, okay, how do you make that work? Now, one thing that was really interesting was, I made a joke saying that every character had a British accent. When you grow up and you watch the movies, you think that every foreigner speaks with a British accent, because all these movies, whenever the Americans used, wanted a foreign sounding person, this person is from Afghanistan. Oh, hello there. I'm from Afghanistan. There was always a British person, right? And the Brits obviously did lots of Hitler movies with British actors. And, my joke was, when I was young, I always thought that Hitler was English. And then it was only later on I found he was German. But I've gotten like a flood of comments saying, no, Hitler wasn't German. He was Austrian. But for all intent, okay, number one, the joke doesn't work. If I go, for the first for years, I thought Hitler was English, and now I find out he was Austrian from Vienna, someplace. I don't know. Like, it doesn't work, right?
Mm-mm.
And what's on the agenda as the new speaker? I don't know your American politics.
Well, Waltman, you said this on Friday. You'd be the new speaker of Midnight's Edge.
Oh, of Midnight's Edge. No, I thought you meant of Congress. Well, I'm happy to do that, because I don't know what's going on.
Well, you're Canadian anyway. What do you care?
Right. What would I know about Congress? Probably as much as Bobert does.
I was gonna say you probably know just as much as they do, but I'm saying as far as like, what do you give a crap? Man, what are you going to benefit from?
Who is it? He must have sold his soul to become the speaker. I mean,
I don't know, but Hillis Mallory says, hello, have you seen Puss in Boots yet, Tom? Not the movie.
He's seen Puss and Boots, but not the movie. I'm waiting for it to come to streaming. I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah, I've heard that it's going to be on streaming fairly soon. So, yeah, at this point, it just gave up against Blue Kitties. Camelbot Killer says, Tom, Chatto, I want to see you do a Monty Python skit like Parrot or Penguin on top of TV. Killer joke, grandma biker gang doing funny voices.
That's always
I'm sure we
embarrassing.
could do something like
Sure we
that,
could
but
There's a penguin on the. What's on the telly? What do you mean? What's on the telly? A television show? No, not what's on the telly. What's on the television box? Oh, it's a penguin. What's a penguin doing on your TV? How the hell should I know?
There you go. There's the penguin sketch.
there you go. I think I found the Dead Parrots one, but if you want to
the
do it,
dead
it's a little
one's
long.
overdone. That's what
I say it's a little. Well, it's not that long actually, but
that's
hopefully
right.
that was enough for you, Camelbot. For now, we'll see. We'll see who else shows up. Maybe we'll do some more.
I do have
stuff.
I have every single Python sketch in a book. I've got all.
Well, there you go. See, you wouldn't even have to look it up.
And I've got the Goon shows. See, the Goon shows would be fun to do, but those are 30 minutes each.
We'd like to do like some radio play stuff.
I love radio. Actually, for those of you who like radio style comedy, go to the Frantics podcast. What was it? It's called the best of Frantic Times on Podbean. Do a search on that, or on Apple Music or Apple Podcast. It's really a great set of shows. We reduced 120 half-hour radio shows down to about 30 half hours. The best of Frantic.
Interesting.
Times. I loved radio, man. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's way better than actually seeing all this special effects, because you can stick the special effects in your brain.
Well, that's what I loved when I was in radio, because during the week it was all business and sports crap and all that kind of stuff. But then on the weekends, if I was lucky enough to get the weekend shift on Saturday nights, I would help the main guy. He would do like it was called like Those Were the Days or something like that, where he'd play just like oldie requests all night long. So my first part of the night was me helping him get records and stuff. And then, but the night or two before that, we'd come up with a few skits and stuff. So like, we'd pre-record some stuff and do all that stuff. And then after midnight, I'd take over and I'd play the more modern stuff where the kids would call in and request. And I did a few skits with him too. So that was always fun to be able to come up with like just some like little radio stuff for that. And that was just little bits, but
did you listen to Firesign Theater?
I've heard some bits of it before, but like I'd really like to get back into it. I just started like listening again to like I found some Gene Shepard's old stuff too, and like so like yeah, I mean between that and we used to do like a while back we used to do where we would read scripts that never actually got filmed, like different versions of movies and stuff like that. So we would do that in kind of a radio play form, but that's really hard to do because it's like really hard form.
Yeah.
And you're doing like 2-3 hours worth of content and all the characters and all the sound effects and music and all that.
Yeah, but no one's listening to your show then anyway, so who cares?
Well, and that's the sad part too, is all the work we'd go and put into them. It was like,
that's the tough part. You put all this effort in, and there's not a lot of people listening at that time.
Yeah. Warrior Justice says, to breast or not to breast? That is the question. Well, I want a wing. Or a leg. Let's do a leg.
We had chicken soup, and I made matzo balls.
Oh, matzo balls. Yes. Dr. Tomento instead of Dr. Demento. But Dr. Pimento.
Dr. Pimento, yes.
Yeah, he's into olives, yes. I couldn't get it out. I was stuttering.
No, I knew what you're getting at.
Thank you for finishing the joke. Eric Wimberg says that's for Paul's MP effort. Excellent. There you go.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Eric.
Very much. Love Monty Python.
I told him we already got one.
That's right. He nailed my head to the ground.
How did you get a coconut?
I deserved it.
Turn me into a newt.
That's right.
But I got better.
I got better.
Here's my theory. My theory is this. It is my theory. It is mine. A dinosaur starts off very, very thin and then gets big in the middle and gets tiny thin at the end again. Thank you very much. That is my theory.
We got Alf in the house. He says, Tom, I know I'm not the only one here, but what are the requirements for you to watch anime if you had interest and, of course, time? Well, actually, I do have a few lined up for when I do have that precious thing called time, that I don't have other things pressing that I haven't either got to watch for the channel or that I'm sucked into right now, like Yellowstone. But no, I've got Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray ready to go when I get the time. I've got a few movies, so like I'm set there, but like series wise, yeah. As far as requirements, I'm not into a lot of the frantic animation.
You
Like
mean
I
you mean
really
the Pokemon ball stuff?
yes.
Yes, the guy with the extreme spiky. I'm not a fan of that. The
Yeah, basically Speed
Naruto.
Racer's about as far as I'll go with that. Yeah.
Naruto. I mean, Naruto's terrible because there's a tradition in anime where nothing happens forever and it just gets dragged out, which is why I prefer things like Attack on Titan, Knights of Sidonia. Those are really, really good animes. And it's a
See,
great story, and every single episode is compelling. It's not just dragged out BS.
I'm sure I would enjoy some of the older stuff first and foremost because like I'd probably find myself gravitating because I know earlier ranking and base stuff was based upon like they had a lot of anime directors and shit working on that stuff. So I think if I found those directors and followed through their stuff, I could probably dip my toe in the water that way and their animation style because that's what Rankin and Base basically did is they got all those guys to come over or they worked with them overseas to do this stuff like the Hobbit is a great example of it. If you look at it, it looks like an anime. Like as far as the style that it's drawn in and the style that it's animated in, like it could very well fit in some of that anime stuff as far as like, and that's the kind of stuff I like is the more detailed stuff. I don't like the lesser kind of stuff.
No, but that's not anime.
Yeah.
The anime is actually still frames with like just parts of it animating and
See, and that's not kind of shit I'm into. I don't like stuff that's even really animated on the twos that often. I hate cheap animation unless there's
no,
some kind of
animation. Well, I mentioned Knights of Sidonia, which is not cheap, and neither is Attack on Titan. So
yeah.
those are more.
And then the other stuff is like I would not like Sailor Moon type stuff.
Sailor Moon you would hate.
Yeah, I'm not into the cutesy wootsy kind of crap.
But that was what men watched because it was kind of porny.
Yeah, I get that. But like I would also that would just kind of make me feel weird. And I'm also not really into all the tentacle porn stuff either. That'd probably be where I'd draw my line there.
No. But I like the mech stuff. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I'd probably dig some of that shit. Now, like, I mean, I'm sure I've seen here's the other thing is I mean, I kind of vaguely remember there being like some kind of because our version of it here, the mech stuff was the hell did they call it here? I can't remember now. But I think they brought
they're not Gundam.
They took one of the animes over there and they Americanized it here. And I can't remember if they just took the animation itself or if they reanimated it. But we had toys and stuff of it as a kid. I was so young when it came. Robotech. Thank you guys. So I don't know if those were just rehashes of the Gundam stuff from over there at the time, or if it was just, you know, Americanized versions of it. But yeah, we had that when I was younger, but I barely remember that. I remember the toys more than I do the actual cartoons or animations, whatever you want to call them. No, I'm not real into it. I mean, as far as my animation goes, it's more American animation. I like the Bakshi stuff. I like, you know, that kind of a thing. Even more like I probably more know more about Don Bluth than I could tell you about any anime.
No, you're just a peasant.
Probably.
Yeah, there's the Mobile Suit Gundam series. That's old. I'm not a fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I that drove me nuts. I stopped watching that.
See, and this is where I was confused too, like Ezilla pointed out here. Robotech, and that was different anime series rebranded as different seasons. See, yeah, that's what I was curious about. I know that they do that kind of crap too. I'm familiar with it. Yeah, I have that on disc.
And the standalone complex was great. That was really good. I mean, good stories. Gurren Lagann. That is really good. That's a really good series, self-contained. Gurren Lagann.
I mean, I would have to probably find some stuff that really story-wise gets me interested, I guess. I mean, we're getting some suggestions here, so we'll jump to those here. Let's see here. We have, of course, first and foremost, Camelbot Killer, who says, I suggest anime of Rise of Shield Hero, reincarnated as a slime, and Kingdom, my top 3 for you. Interesting.
There's a really wonderful anime called Ajin, which is very disturbing in terms of it's, the bad guy in it, because he keeps getting away and you don't want him to. But Ajin is that is amazing conceptually, and you go, wow, how'd they ever come up with that? Anyways, and then of course there's Initial D, which is based on drifting.
And then Action Con says, Chato, were you a fan of Firesign Theater? The Tale of the Giant Red Samutra seems to be right up your alley. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. I've just not been able to hear a lot of their stuff. Yeah.
Don't crush that dwarf. Hand me the pliers. Another Firesign Theater title.
Funnily enough, there's a Wisconsin connection because of Rocky Rococo, the guy who played him. But anyway, it's a pizza restaurant that's
Firesign Theater was just crazy bizarre.
Yeah, one of the actors from there.
Frantics, so they were some of our heroes.
Yeah, he came from this area and he ended up playing that character and stuff. And the character was actually created in Firesign Theater, and there was a big, huge dispute over it. But we also have Paulie here. Speaking of disputes, this brother loves to fight with me.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're not here to fight. We're here to kick back and chill out.
Kick back, hey. What's up, hey? Let's kick back.
What's up,
hey? Hey, I'm kicking back, hey.
Yeah.
I'm kicking back so much. I need a recliner, Holmes.
Dave's not here, man.
You're a lowrider without the rider.
Hey, I don't know who Dave is, Mato. Dave's not here, man.
What's
up, Chato? What's up, Chato?
We haven't talked in a while, Paulie.
Well, I don't get called on, on the big show anymore.
Ooh. But I've been watching your stuff. I've been,
You know what's funny is he can log on at any time.
I know, I can go on anytime.
He does that just to be a jerk.
Yeah. No one's ever stopped you.
No.
He's literally got the keys to the house, man.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? What's up, chat? Good seeing everybody.
This is the weekly wrap up. This is where we literally try not to talk about the news. That's the gimmick.
Yeah,
See?
we've been talking about diversity, inclusivity, equity consultants.
So those are fighting words, man. You better watch. He knows that too.
No. We had a very good discussion. I had a guy that had a meltdown at the very end because I merely mentioned Jordan Peterson.
It's funny because I never even got to tell you. I had a similar experience that it was a much shorter kind of experience. I was in line at the grocery store one day and or Walmart, actually, I would say, because I don't have a grocery store here. And I just happened to be talking to some lady in line one day, and this is a while back. This is like right when COVID stuff started to really kind of ease up a bit. And we were talking, everything was fine, talking about groceries and whatnot, like stuff. And I said something about, I could afford a lot more than this about, before Brandon or something like that. I said, and she's like, oh, I'm uncomfortable to have this conversation. I could tell right away, like, oh, yeah, and you're one of those. She did. She kind of just stood there. And I was like, okay, that's the way we're going to play this. This is awkward. I didn't say nothing, but she's just like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable having this conversation anymore, is what she said.
Move on to something else. Like,
I tried and she wouldn't talk. I'm like, that's cool. I understand. Yeah. She kept standing there. Like, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, why didn't this bitch just go to a different line at this point is what I'm thinking. Because she was behind me. So it was like, You
give her a choice. Cunnilingus, Fellatio, Brandon. Pick one.
If she was a little younger, I might have.
I'm giving you a choice. Hey,
I know.
Hey, she might have knew her thing. Who knows?
No, I can't even remember what I said after that, but it was something that completely changed the subject, right? Like, because I could tell, obviously after that comment, I thought she just meant that part of the conversation. And then no, she meant the actual conversation. And it was kind of very awkward.
Well, that kind of happened with the D.E.I guy. As soon as I mentioned,
that's what I was saying. That's what it reminded me of. Yeah,
So the punchline, Paulie, is that an individual, an acquaintance that I know him really well, got fired at a company because he just mentioned in a lunchroom to someone else that got overheard. He wasn't even talking to that person, that he listened to Jordan Peterson. And someone else overheard. He didn't even say it to that person, but the person who overheard it went to HR and got him fired. Took a little bit of time, but the guy, was a sweet guy and didn't know how to fight. And
is this in Canada?
Yeah. So So merely mentioning the devil incarnate got him fired. So, you know, this is I don't know how you fight back with this. Of course, you can't. It's hard to fight because I was talking with a diversity, inclusivity, equity DI person who is actually at this point poisoning companies and government offices with his bullshit. So, how do you stop it? Anyways, I didn't want to bring everybody down, but that was the point of the discussion that we
No,
had.
it's just funny how
No, I
people
kind of
freak out like that.
Thanks
yeah.
for
Bringing you up to speed.
I
Yeah, bring
guess
it-
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I've been watching your movie reviews, and that's been fun.
So,
Yep,
yeah.
Having a good time on the channel. Yeah.
You got to see did you get to see Megan this week? I didn't get a chance to see her
I
review.
saw Megan. I saw Babylon. I've been
Oh,
busy.
wow. You suffered through Babylon.
I saw both of your reviews.
And then me and Romy just watched The Menu. She saw it for the first time.
Ah,
Yeah. So
is it scary?
no.
Oh.
It's an interesting concept. I definitely the second time around saw more of the plot holes. Great characters, great premise, but I was Romy saw through it real quick. Maybe I was like, I liked it. I liked it in the theater that first time, and then when he saw it today, it was like, oh, okay, it's not as thrilling. It's all good.
But you can appreciate a bunch of enjoyable acting. There's a million reasons for liking something that doesn't necessarily have to deal with plot holes and stuff. I mean,
absolutely. I still enjoyed it. It's still a million times better than most stuff out there.
My wife and I watched Ratatouille. Out of nowhere, Ramona went, hey, I want to watch Ratatouille. And she doesn't watch movies. And I went, yeah, sure, let's do it. And oh my God, just thoroughly enjoyed that. Just the execution, the writing, the music, everything about it was so refreshing. A great palate cleanser compared to the nonsense that we get now. So
yeah.
I'm not even looking forward to most of the things that come out. That is so weird. Oh, great, an Obi-Wan. Great. I don't want to see it. Oh, the new Star Wars that's not going to have a single straight man in it. Great. Whatever you're saying. Okay, I'm just so excited. So,
you mean you don't want him to see him with scissor lightsabers?
Scissor lightsabers.
You know, scissor.
Oh. I
see you have a double-bladed lightsaber. So do I.
I don't mind.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's all we need.
Well, Megan, and we're just looking at the box office. Megan hit $30 million.
Yeah, did better than expected
on a $12 million budget, and I'm thinking that people need to just do 3 years worth of $12 million only movies. What should they concentrate on? Don't do it for anything more than that. 4 to 12, and just fill the theaters with interesting stuff.
Yep.
Well, I think with P&A they spent closer to 30, but
yeah,
still at the end of the day, it's still going to make money in here by the next week or two. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. P&A?
Prints and advertising.
Oh, God, you're so fancy.
That's what the boys call it.
Well, I mean, Megan definitely, that marketing, the social media marketing was just brilliant.
It was great.
I mean, it got everyone talking.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I really liked the first hour, and then I thought it got a little silly towards the end. But it's a robot film. I mean, it's fun.
Does it? Yeah. Does it do what it needs to do? That's the question, right?
Oh, people were howling in the.
I was gonna say I've heard some good reactions to it, but
we had a good crowd. We were with the homies. It was a lot of fun. I mean, Monkey Jeebus was with us, Mexican Iron Man, Lady Bellfire, and Chris Core.
Nice.
So yeah, no, They
Sounds
liked
fun.
it a little more than I did. I thought it was, okay. But
Yeah.
it's still fun.
Actually, I'm curious about the special effects. How did they look?
Yeah, they look good. It was pretty creepy. It was good.
Did the actress do a good job seeming like she was a robot, basically?
Oh yeah, wasn't it like some young actor? Or
Yeah, like
something?
12, 13-year-old girl or something like
Oh
that.
no, she was
Any
great.
lens. I was
She's like
told
a dancer and all that shit. Yeah.
that the woman who invented the robot was not good, not up to scratch. That's what everybody is saying.
Oh, you mean the actress?
The actress, yeah, who actually invented the robot.
Oh, the one from Get Out, that actor.
Yes.
I thought she was. The acting reminded me of a Cronenberg actors.
Okay. Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? Like that film, that approach. It's almost, there's something like a distilled about
Not
their
quite
acting.
noir, but it's like off kilter. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not that it's bad. I mean, it's perfect for the, for this. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Now the guy who was in charge of the what do you call it, the company
You're right.
that ran thing, he was awful. He was bad.
No, I didn't hear anything about him. I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
say bad things about Cronenberg here in Canada. It's illegal.
Right.
mean,
But yeah.
Yeah.
I can have my house raided. And
The little girl was great. The little girl,
who was the main
little actress.
main is, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, folks. You think that Cronenberg has really weird visual effects, like they're really cool, they look real? That's because they are real. You sign a thing up in Canada to where if you fuck
Correct.
up, you become one of his special effects, and
That's right.
there's nothing you can do about it.
That's correct.
It's just one of those things.
More guts, the better.
Yep.
More
Then we got
guts.
Elf here again. Who says, Paul, if you ever watched Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, I think it's the most realistic, and if given in the hands of the right director, could be a perfect live action movie series. I don't know if you're familiar with
I
this
will
one.
write it down. I don't know that one. The Gundams I have watched. There's just so many of them. Okay. Gundam
Yep.
Iron Blooded Orphans. Okay.
Yep.
I will take you up on that one.
There you go. Danny Anderson says, rumors on what plans Amazon has for Stargate SG-1. Honestly, I have not heard much more than what's already out there. I've heard basically that they're just kind of... There was one plan before Amazon bought it, and I think that plan was put on the back burner for now.
I heard the plan I heard was stick a broomstick up its ass. That
Animate
was
it somehow?
Amazon's plan.
Bring it back to life in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be a neat thing to resurrect, but was it William Dean Anderson who was the main character?
Yeah, but is that one of Michael J. Straczynski's shows, or is that something else? No.
Well, if it's in his hands, it might
I
be.
don't know who. No, I'm not sure
Like
anymore.
10 seasons, man. Mazara.
I don't know how many stories are left.
Joseph Mazarara.
They pretty much
yeah, that's who's in charge.
They explored every forest in BC.
Well, that's the thing, and it was a great show.
I loved it. It was wonderful.
Still very what's the word?
Compelling.
Compelling, and it's evergreen.
The last news on it was November of last year, and that was where
we don't need more reboots. We need original stuff. I mean,
Well, can I tell you something about Babylon?
Sure.
Yes.
I fucking loved it.
The orgy scenes?
Are you kidding me? Everybody's hated it.
No, not everybody.
I'm not. And it's not. No, it's a very divisive film, and I understand why.
Oh, you're allowed to like it. I haven't seen
the orgy scene is part of a Hollywood party, or like a Bacchus party at the beginning of the film. And it's set in the 1920s, guys. and it's at like it's
Right.
at there's okay, so there's some gross parts, but in 3 hours it's maybe 10 minutes of the film, and that some of that stuff is like right at the beginning. The it, that stuff is shocking, but the statement is there,
Right.
is that Hollywood is full of shit, and
Yeah.
it is incredible what because what Damien is doing is that theme of how the underbelly of Hollywood, just how wicked it is, all that is there. At the same time, the love for filmmaking and the lawlessness of silent films going into talkies, man, dude, that was just so. Even as a cinephile, you're just like, there's a whole there's a whole part where they're trying to get the first take of a sound movie with Margot Robbie. It's the first take, right? And they're doing the film, they're doing the sound, they're doing the filming, the hot box and everything. You'd really appreciate it, guys. Like there's so many things you'd really appreciate it. But that whole montage was just incredible. Just incredible. The music is insane. I love, it's just like this really just this thriving jazz that goes on throughout the whole film. The score, um, yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why, I think it got a bad rap. I mean, it was obviously made for too much money. It's a beautiful looking film.
Yeah. Over $200 million.
No,
Yeah.
fuck, really?
Yep.
But it was cool. It, like literally, they opened up the
Confirmed
movie.
I might
Like
be.
you see a bare, almost a desert looking landscape with one palm tree, and it says Bel Air 1925. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And the first part is this guy, the Mexican guy, and he's got a job. He's got to get this elephant to Brad Pitt's party. It's wild, dude. It's wild, but once you accept it, it's quite a ride.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of another movie. It was $80 million. Completely different, but it only made 13 million.
No, yeah, it didn't make it. It didn't make any.
Sorry, 80 million. My
Yeah,
apologies.
80 million. Yeah, it didn't make
So
any
I got a
money.
question for you. I had this discussion with someone else. I find Margot Robbie sexless. I don't find any heat. I do not get any heat off the screen from her, as pretty as she is.
Oh shit, here we go.
I'm just asking.
What's the question?
I'm asking, did you find her sexy in the movie?
At times, because she's basically Clara Bow, and Clara Bow was that
I
it
know.
girl,
Yep.
right? No, I'm telling for she was
The
a silent
people
star.
are
Chat.
way younger than me. Although I didn't I mean, I'm not part of the silent era. I just want to put that forward out there.
So there is movie magic moments in it, because they're chronicling movie magic moments in the history of cinema.
Sure.
Yes, so that's insane. They have Spike Jonze playing a German crazy out of his mind director trying to get the light of this silent film. That was brilliant. That fuck, dude. I was just like, it's a kind of unfortunate that like everyone's talking about the origin, the beginning, and it's really just more of a wild party that's got some very seedy moments. But like I was telling you, like the filming of this epic kind of Ivanhoe-esque film that Brad Pitt's in, that's amazing. All the shit that I mean, people were getting killed on the set. Like there was no codes, there was no nothing. And then the other montages I told you. So okay, so back to Margot Robbie. So she's a party girl, and the drugs are flowing during that time. It's the 20s, so she's an addict. So you got that going on for her.
Right.
But she gets a break, and she maximizes that break in her performances. So there's a couple of great moments where she sells crying on cue. That was fucking brilliant, because the director, once the director saw that she could cry on cue, they kept doing retakes. Paul, now can you do it? I got this light. Can you do one tear here, then two here? I was like, whoa. She did it. And there was this whole part in that scene where she's jumping on top of a bar, being all sexy and everything, dancing. That was great.
I mean, I read the book a long time ago, Hollywood Babylon.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure this is based on it. It was Hollywood was a nasty fun place. I mean, they were making so much money during the silent movie era. The drugs and everything that was coming in, and heroin.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just insane.
So like as like, if you're a history of cinema, if you're, or if you've ever been on a set, or if you've ever been part of filmmaking, and then if you just love movies, because you're gonna love a lot of this film. Diego Calva's character. Excuse me. Diego Calva's character is our innocence and love for film. And he talks about it, but he gets wrapped up into becoming, wanting to become a studio exec, where he even is now not Mexican, but he's from Spain. Right. There's a little bit of that, but it's not about that, which is great. So someone said the character, it's an ensemble piece, so there's no straight lead. Meaning not straight as in gay or straight, but like
no,
like,
to me.
Yeah. Brad Pitt, if anything, Diego Calva, which is why he got nominated, is in it more than Margot Robbie. He's in love with Margot's character. It's a great character for her. She got nominated too.
My point is, someone writes a script. Not my point. I've got my questions, because I'm always asking, what's the point of the movie? Why does someone get a bug up their ass to spend that amount of time, energy, not just making the movie, but getting it financed? And the biz, right? We all know what the routine is. You could be working 10 years to get your favorite project up and running. I mean, but at its core, there's got to be a reason for the audience to want to see it. And this even goes to the movie Tar, where I'm going, okay, I'm sure it's a brilliant performance, but from the log line, there's nothing here that I want to see it. And I don't want to be too glib that, the French Connection log line is way more interesting, but then again, it's a cop chase drug movie. It's not the same as, Babylon. But I'm just wondering, what is it that caused the writer to create something that no one's going to be interested in watching? Of course, that's not their idea when they're doing it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, why should I go see this movie apart from being a cinephile? Like, why? Why should I go see it?
Well, it's very entertaining.
Okay,
it's entertaining. I mean, it's really riveting.
Okay,
and it's got vision, it's got scope, it's sprawling.
But you're the first person who's really reviewed it like this. I've not heard anybody else talk about it.
Well, and that's the thing is that I've heard, I've heard Cameron's take where he just like, and he's a fan of the filmmaker, but he wasn't a fan of this. And
True, I heard that.
So I kind of was like hesitant to see it. But then Gore was like, bro, go check it out for yourself. So, all right, and I did. But I kind of went in there like, you know what I mean? But once I got over, so I knew what to expect with that orgy scene, but it really wasn't just an orgy scene. It was, what it was. It was, this is how Hollywood, this is how, the beginning of film is right now in the 20s. I mean, it was wild. And it was, and when I say it was riveting, because you just were like, what the fuck? The camera was just like, what? It was really, really, just unique in its camera work. It was fantastic.
I get the sense that everyone thought that this opening scene was going to be a killer intro and not one that was going to kill the movie. I could envision that they must have put this together and wow, this is going to be a really amazing way to open the movie, but people just did not react positively to it.
Listen,
yeah, they probably thought it was going to get them some kind of buzz. It just didn't generate the kind of buzz they were hoping for.
I don't, the point also too with this film is being self-indulgent.
Right.
It creates broken lives.
Right.
In each of these characters shows what happens to them. So it's not like a film to be self-indulgent.
Gotcha.
Right. It's a big difference. And it's very, and it's very entertaining.
I get it. I think that's impressive if they can pull that off.
And Brad Pitt's, they're all very tragic. And yet they're larger than life. So I dug it. It's I want to see it again.
I've always said that I'm not a big fan of Hollywood movies about Hollywood. I mean, I Hail Caesar I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, I couldn't even get through the first 10 minutes of that.
Okay.
So and I'm usually like that too. I don't know what there was you ever see Boogie Nights?
Sure. Excellent movie, I thought.
A lot of the setup and the storytelling and the acts 1, 2, and 3, there's a lot of similarity.
Okay.
Because you had your ensemble of freaks and whatever that you saw their rise. And then year by year, 1928, 1930, 1932, and it's landmarked by what's happening. The jazz singer fucking changed everything. It was that was really cool.
Yep.
The way they showed that. Lot of cool stuff, man. How LA changed. Wow, I was blown away. And I just kept watching it. Chris Gore called me right after, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" I kept thinking about Boogie Nights, because all these characters that you loved in Boogie Nights, they were just so tragic.
Yep.
Their aim, they had good hearts, but they were just, either they got in drugs or they're fucked up, bad moms. I don't know what. I just kept thinking about that.
Well, broken people always come to Hollywood.
Yes. And there's just a lot in that film that I really
You've
love.
convinced me to go see it.
Well, I'm just because we're in and out of the business, we're close to the business, so it hits you in different ways, and these people, and you're like, oh shit, that's when that started. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm interested in the history of,
but even like, but and I know it's like, oh, what's so exciting about them to doing the first take of their first talkie? And I'm just telling you that the pace of how he filmed them doing it was just really, really like you were on the edge of your seat.
I'll wait till it comes to Nickelodeon on TV and watch it.
Yeah. So that's
pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I love your review.
But Margot, it's a really unique performance.
Okay.
She's annoying. She's out of her mind. She's hilarious. She's vulnerable. There are some quiet moments. There are some quiet moments. It's a great character.
Okay.
Pitt was on it, man.
Yeah.
Pitt was on it. So Pitt's character is that silent actor who was like the number one biggest thing when Talkie started. 2-3 years later on, he was completely a relic. He was absolutely in those that
not Errol Flynn.
No.
Yeah, okay. Because he transferred over fine.
Right. No, that was not the case here.
Right,
And
right.
that was a great, and there's some other tragic characters with him. Lucas Haas plays a character in it. Great cast, man. Great cast. Wow. And so, yeah, you got to see that.
Interesting. I'm going to go see it then.
You have sold a ticket for Babylon.
You've sold
Don't
I
get
know,
nothing for it.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, so that's.
We got Lord Kamina, who's been a member for 8 months at the minimum effort puppy level. Thank you so much. And we got Gunstar1 who says, Paul, here's something I find interesting. Did you know that if you took every grain of sand on Earth and laid them end to end, you'd be working for the government?
So that is a line from our TV show presented by a character called Mr. Interesting.
Oh.
Did you know? So Mr. Interesting was always placed in some kind of weird place on Earth. And then this was one of his lines. Did you know that if you took every grain of sand on Earth and laid them end to end, you'd be working for the government? Anyway, yes, Mr. Interesting. He had lots of Mr. Interesting was one of the favorite characters on our show. Thank you very much, R1.
There you go. We got Shanatsky here who says, watch Psycho Gorman. It's evil live action He-Man. Yeah, that's one that has been recommended to me quite a few times. I do hope to get to it eventually. And thank you for that, Shanatsky. Appreciate that. Then we got Action Comics says, Paul, can you compare, or Paulie, sorry. Can you compare Babylon to Sunset Boulevard?
I can't because I've never seen Sunset Boulevard.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
That's worth watching.
I've heard that it's better than Godfather 3.
That is that I've seen scenes from it, and obviously I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
As I said, it's probably the most famous one, yeah.
Right, famous line. So I unfortunately cannot. I think like I said, a good comparison just for me was the storytelling, and not the stories, but the storytelling of Boogie Nights and how it was told in these acts. Like this was very similar in that way.
Yeah, Gloria Swanson does a performance that is unbelievable. Like you will never.
I got to see it there, and then there's an incredible tie-in to Singing in the Rain.
Nice, which is all about that.
It's all about that, dude. And I don't want to spoil that because that's pretty key. Even though it's not in it a lot, it's very key.
Well, looky who decided to show up.
Oh, I gotta go.
These are my friends, people.
Oh, yeah. See, you waited. Oh, see, now you made Paulie leave. What did you do to Paulie?
Nothing. I don't know. These are my friends.
Paulie, if you're listening, what did he do to you now?
Nothing.
He just ignores me. That's why I'm pissed.
What's he mad at me? I didn't do anything.
That's what I'm asking you. You would know.
I didn't.
What'd you do? Paulie, what'd he do?
I was eating.
No, I'm like, I don't know. Paulie, they're good.
You ain't answer my texts. You ain't answer my messages. It's like Culture Casino might be dead, but he's not, evidently.
I'm right here. Right here. I was on a stream.
You make baby Jesus cry.
I tried not to. I was on a stream, and as soon as I got done with the stream, I ran out.
Fine. I'll give you a pass this time.
Here I is.
Now, guess what? Valiant Renegade's going to get my ire. Lord Kamita 2 says I recommended Gintama. Am I saying that right? Gintama, one of the funniest comedies.
Oh, really?
I've never heard of this. Gintama. Gintama, is that how you say it?
Gymkata?
That I know.
Really. That guy just
died. Totally different
somebody
thing.
that was in that just died.
Okay, so this must be it's a manga series.
Oh, well, there you go. Funny comedy? Sounds good.
Yeah,
like
maybe not. This is the thing with
I'm a live action.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's a live action one. Maybe that'd be easier for me to watch because yeah, sometimes stuff like this is just way too busy for my taste. You know what I mean? Like this kind of stuff. It's just too much. Like
Wait, you don't
I mean,
like all the kanji on there?
it's all just kind of it's too busy for my brain.
Oh wow, Paul's getting into it. Look at that.
Whatever he found, yeah.
Look at that.
Maybe he's watching porn. Is it a good one? Send me the link.
Well, no, it's probably that remember that Jennifer Lawrence teased leaked thing that came out?
I've been looking for Amish porn lately.
Oh boy. We got Paul smiling. That's how I know.
The problem is it's just a bunch of black screen.
Whoa, hey now.
Nothing but blank.
Sexy cow milking.
Someone called
That'll
CC
work. That's Amish porn.
Treebeard in the chat.
Who am I?
Fucking Treebeard.
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 Fucking hilarious. What's up, Treebeard?
Good.
I mean, you have no neck, bro. I mean, what's going on here?
Well, he's got a neck. He just hides it under his beard.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
It looks like you got no neck.
Yeah, well,
Pinche Treebeard.
a lot of people have called me all kinds of stuff. I've been Harry from the Hendersons, Harry and the Hendersons, and been a lot of
thing.
I'm not, you want me to be, that's only when I comb my hair down. I'm not doing that. I spent a lot of time on my hair today.
Please don't. Please don't.
Small Time Republic says Amish porn is only drawn.
Oh, this is
just
funny.
ankles.
That's you know what I'm thinking of. You know what that made me think of? It made me think of like when you draw on the paper,
Right.
and then the next one paper, and
Yeah,
then the
you
next
keep
one, right?
flipping it, little
And
flip
it's
book.
moving and
Flip
shit.
book.
It made me think of like the Amish doing porn like that.
But it's like drawn horse and buggy. So like it's a double on time.
It's just someone's ankle going, like the dress going up and
Yeah,
down.
just up a little bit. Yeah.
Down,
Yeah,
up and
you
down.
can-
An Amish pen with the dirty girl on it is just just to show the ankle.
Just a little Victorian ankle there.
Oh,
By the
man.
way, there was a joke that was started. There's a lady that's into the Victorian era stuff. She actually started an OnlyFans that was just ankles. I kid you not.
I'm sure there's a market for it.
There was. She got paid. It was a joke.
You'd be surprised.
Wow.
Alf is here and says, personal opinion, the amazing storytelling of Attack on Titan has made me rethink my life choices.
Well, it's
Elf.
It's a good. The first season especially is very good. That a lot of
There you go.
clever stuff in there.
There you go.
Brett, Tom can barely English. Expecting him to Japanese might be a step too far. Exactly.
That's a good point, man.
I can barely English.
Well,
That's right.
I don't
Right.
English too good.
I know. Sayonara.
Sayonara. Jeff Bridges from he does look like Jeff Bridges from King Kong with glasses.
oh, man, that's like, come on, man. He ain't no Jeff Bridges. He's more like his cousin, Josephus Bridges.
You should have went like Bo Bridges. Yeah, I was gonna say Bo.
No,
his brother.
Josephus.
But
He's
Bo,
very,
his brother.
he's very Sphinx-like. He's got the hair that comes out like the Sphinx.
Dude.
Oh, Beasley Bridges.
All right.
Easily.
Let's be nice to culture
I'm
before he
having fun.
cries.
No, I'm
I'm
This
having
is-
fun.
This is fun evening.
Jesus.
His pillow
Here.
can only take so many tears, Polly.
We
Oh
can-
wow.
Here, look at something nice, culture. Hold
It
on.
was absorbent. Oh, I'm looking at cool stuff.
That sounds like a country song. My pillow can
There you
only
go. I got a
take so
plaque
many
for you. Look.
tears.
I got a plaque. What is
And
it?
I've
say?
been crying all these lonely years.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations
you-
on the.
you- You guys helped.
Oh yeah, man. No, well, I love it, man. Every time you do that, I'm a huge
Wow,
fan.
look at that. Very
I
nice.
love animal rescue.
Very nice.
I love it. Well done.
It's soggy and full because I'm tired of your bull. My
Yeah, we at
pillow's
Animal
too
Rescue
full of
Found our
tears.
animals and they go straight to the restaurant.
Oh,
Is this just like this is what the stream is then? That's not
yeah, it's you just standing there going, "What are we doing?" No. We talk a little bit about things that pop up here and there, whatever the chat wants us to talk about, whatever comes to our minds. We started off talking about D.E.I and some other good stuff.
Wait,
I was curious what you thought of
D.I.E.
Megan.
is not a good
And
stuff.
you already told
No,
us.
no, but I
and
had
you
a
told
good
us what you thought of
answer.
Babylon, but
right.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Paul. I missed whatever you said.
No, you'll have to watch the stream. I had a fun.
he's not telling you again.
No, I'm not saying again.
Yeah, you fucked up.
I did not. I went after one of these consultants.
No. He means culture.
I mean
Okay,
culture.
culture.
I mean
yeah.
culture.
Culture Casino.
He's like the brother we always beat up on. We just
Because I can take it.
You should
No
give
llores,
psychic
mijo. No
predictions.
llores.
You should give psychic predictions for people going into the casino. Today
Mm.
23 green. And then
Yeah.
well,
What?
wasn't your channel Culture Casino because originally you did talk about some like stuff like that
No!
related to it?
He looked
No.
like a gambler. It
You
was
got to
re-
go with it. You should have
I
went with it,
remember
man.
that.
Just
No,
100%
but I was
went with
about to correct Paul.
you didn't let me go. He had a
the
gambling
only-
problem. And
Yes, that's what it was. Yes, I have a gambling problem. I know, but the only green thing on the roulette board is a 0, bro.
oh, sorry, red. So
Yeah,
what,
red
okay,
or
so
black?
red or black, and which one's even?
What?
Which ones are even, black or red?
Like I know.
I don't know. It's your Culture
Like I
Casino,
know.
for fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
It's my fault.
Hey, you
That's
came
right.
on. You came on
it's
the stream,
culturally,
dog.
you have no idea what you're going to get out of it.
I mean,
It could be
you've got a
crapshoot.
misleading name. You should be giving everybody, these are the 647 numbers that I suggest.
I
you
agree with
pick.
you. I agree with you. I think I should.
Yeah.
Just start putting numbers up on the screen here.
Tomorrow,
That's right.
now
Tomorrow's
that I think
lottery,
about it, you're right. It's totally
To-
misleading.
t-
bullshit,
tomorrow's lottery numbers are
Yes.
Right. The 6-minute lottery session.
the 6-minute lottery prediction.
Yeah, you should do that shit.
Okay, might
You
as well.
Probably would kill it.
I don't know. I don't know. I do look like a guy that would own either a nightclub or a casino, but not a nice casino, but like
No, you don't. You look like a dude that fucking makes you own a tea company and you sell it to Whole Foods
company.
and shit.
Okay, I'm gonna sell you your patchouli. Culture
Culture says tomorrow's numbers are 8. Nice.
8, 6, 7,
The
5,
thing
3.
that was most pathetic when I
oh,
went
and
to
9.
LA was that I went to a gas station to get gas, and inside the gas station along had some kind of 7-Eleven-y kind of Slurpee. And I mean, it was really a well-lit, super bright, fluorescent lights, vinyl floor, not particularly inviting for anything. And there were people in there playing the goddamn slot machine.
Yep.
Like, why? Like, where's the joy in like, what was the joy? Why? Is this like a great place to hang out? To play slots? No. I mean, why not go to a casino at least where it's got carpeting and ladies yelling at the machine, and it was, sad. It was sad.
My favorite thing is the old ladies sitting there with their oxygen tank and their mask on, and then they'll take it off and start smoking.
That's right. Okay, so I just discovered that red and black can be even or odd.
Okay, well, there you are.
So there you go. So 15 black, 26 black, 32 red. So,
Some of that could be, depending upon if it's a French wheel or not.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
so-
French my wheel.
No, but I believe there are wheels that have both 0 and 00.
Okay. Yeah. Why would anyone? I mean, if you're going to play roulette, you can play black and white. I mean, at least you get the 50-50, right?
Well, if you play, you can play red or black, but if it hits the green number, you're effed.
Yeah. Well, if it hits whatever you haven't picked, you're effed.
Right. No. Okay.
There's only one green, so
You
like,
can't bet green. Is my point? So,
who in their right mind would bet green?
Me. Actually, it would be better. That's the weird thing, right? If there's only one green, you get 30. I think it's 35 to 1 odds on roulette. Or maybe it's 32. I think 35. That I think it's 35 to 1. So you would always like green if you're gonna pick it. That would be your best odds. So green.
I mean, it's so romantic to see the person in the wheelchair with the oxygen tank and the butt hanging out their mouth, and they got that special credit card thing on a lanyard.
Yeah.
That's in the machine permanently, and they're not even hitting the bar anymore. They've got the button only. It's bleh, bleh, and the enjoyment they must get out of it. Holy smokes.
Well, so there's this really interesting thing, right?
I don't get it.
Well, they changed the games up, right? From the regular one-armed bandits to like there are like choices you can make, right? You now have like, Simpsons, like the Simpsons, like
Right.
thing.
Like
And
like
so there's-
video games.
yeah. And so you can actually, hit a button to do something else. And I was like, okay, what they're doing is they're taking the success they had with video poker, which
Right.
gives the illusion of some participation to a certain extent. They took that same illusion, they put that in the one-armed bandit by doing digital games like that. So
I just you go in and I'm not seeing a lot of people enjoying themselves.
Now these gas station and bar casino or
Well, there's that too.
those things are like depends on the
whoa.
Oh shit!
damn,
I'm
I
getting
tried
that.
catching him.
Speaking of
Damn,
coming up,
almost,
I'm outta
almost,
here.
almost. Oh, there goes Paul.
I'm outta
I
here.
drove him out. I changed hats for this shit.
What hat were you wearing?
speaking
Oh
of
wait,
coming up,
Paulie left. I thought Paul said that, but Paulie said that.
yeah,
Okay.
speaking of
Yeah.
coming up craps, here we go. Here's Paulie.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So my enjoyment comes out of the table games because when
Wait,
I'm
did
playing
Paulie really leave?
He'll be back.
I know.
You mean like Baccarat?
Yeah, no, I love that because it's participatory, right? There are certain odds that I'm playing and all that. So when I'm playing blackjack, right? I kind of know what the odds are, right? It's like playing like when you play poker, at a table with a bunch of people, you kind of know what the odds are, right? You can work it all out. I love craps because there are odds that I can work at a craps table against other people or with other people, depending upon if I buy odds, don't take odds, a whole lot of other factors. So, yeah,
I don't know how to play craps.
I murdered the craps table. That is where I make money.
Really?
Culture's so full of crap.
You murder crap?
So,
What?
so I suggest
Culture,
you
man, I
have
don't
your
believe anything
gambling
you say,
channel,
man.
and then get rid of the casino off this channel. It's just confusing.
Wait a minute. Do you culture? Do you put like a little sun visor on with glasses?
No, I
when
do
you're
not
there?
wear an eye shade. No,
Yeah,
don't
you
that.
do. Yeah, you
No, I
do.
do not.
You don't have
Look
those
at
like
you,
those
man.
big honking glasses that Robert De Niro wore in Casino, like those giant like
If
old
I could
Jewish
find-
man frames from the end of
I
Casino
love
that he was
that
wearing.
movie.
I know.
Okay, but if I could find those Lynette's VR, I would rock them. You know I would.
I know
would
you
blame
would.
them. Damn.
But Paulie
You'd be
does
sitting
actually
there
have to
with a
leave us
John
for real.
Barrymore cigarette holder at the end of it.
My
You know?
my dad got
I got a
chased
few
out
more
of the
minutes.
casino on Grand
Okay.
Bahama Island because he could count cards, and he had a mind like a steel trap, and he got
Nice.
removed.
I can do, somewhat advanced counting where, I can add +1, +2 to single deck.
Yeah.
I-
Just count
I don't-
cards.
I don't know how some people are keeping track of that many 10 cards, when you're on a 4-deck shoe. I don't know how you're doing that. Because
Got a lot of
that
twos.
Well, my dad could do it. He got chased out of the Lucayan Beach Hotel casino.
that's insane. Wow, that's awesome.
Damn.
Well, before you leave, Paulie, here's a good question that you might want to chime in on.
Yeah.
Anyway, Teague sends in $5 and says, "What makes The Last Dragon and Big Trouble in Little China so special? They both have similar charm that we don't see in today's movies." I agree with this. What do you think, Paulie?
Well, he just answered his own question.
Well, I think
Teague,
he's asking you the same thing. What do you
Yeah,
think?
no, I mean that's he answered it. I couldn't have said it better.
You agree with his opinion then? Yeah.
Could not have said it better. I mean, especially for me, Big Trouble.
Yeah.
Little China.
Oh, okay, so what I
Great
feel about-
charm.
It's a
Just
great movie.
kind of like, when you create a world like that, it just it's timeless, so you can always come back to it. It's
Jack
just,
Burton.
yeah. Okay, there you go.
I feel like there's a lot there, and you're right, Paulie. It's something you can come back to each and every time because it's a story that's familiar, right?
I haven't
It's-
seen The
it's-
Last Dragon in forever, though.
you always feel like you can, like, where it's going, right? Even when there's little surprises thrown in there, even when you get a couple of little monster elements in there, you kind of always feel like you in a sense are a part of the movie because you see where it's going, or feel where it's going, or you feel involved in it, you're invested in it because for whatever reason you feel included. That's the right word. I feel included in this movie, right? I don't look like any of these characters, right? I don't live in this world. It's fantastical. But for whatever reason, I feel included in this. And we don't have a lot of films that do that. Really, not anymore. I mean, I can't even name the last time I felt included in a film, like I was in on it. That's how you feel about that. I am in on this. I'm in on this. I'm in on this all the way. It's not just, I'm in on the gag. I'm in on the action. I'm in on it. I think that's how. I think for me, that's what that is.
Isn't Megan kind of then of this ilk then?
I think Megan, I think Cocaine Bear potentially is going to be like that. I think I don't care if somebody calls something campy. Campy's not bad. Campy can be a lot of flipping fun and entertaining.
A lot of people don't even know what camp really is. See, a lot of people will see John Waters knew how to do camp. People think like things like the Batman series from the 60s is camp. That's not really camp so much as it is.
So let me just talk about Big Trouble in Little China.
Sure.
So we can look back on films like this fondly, especially the ones that succeeded. It's a John Carpenter film. It has his style.
Yeah.
He has many films of this style that for whatever reason didn't touch the audience. What was the one with James Woods?
Vampires,
which I think was actually successful. But he's got He's got a string of these, and the thing is, you roll the dice, you put the elements together, you write the script to the best of your abilities, you cast it, and you don't know what the lightning in a bottle is going to be. But the one thing you can guarantee from a John Carpenter movie, he's not going to waste your time. So even if it doesn't work, he hasn't purposely not made it work.
Well, it's almost also too, it's your fault if it doesn't work, not Carpenter. Because you know what you're getting with the Carpenter film.
Sure, but sometimes the ingredients just weren't there.
Well,
but even then, it's still there's still entertainment there.
Yes, but if no one sees art, then it's not art.
But I agree with you though, from the standpoint of you're not wasting your time. I mean, you are included in it the whole way, and he's not wasting your time. He's not.
Well, he's not one of the most solid, arguably, as far as like, even though he had flops at the box office, those movies are still prominent today. He has one of the most solid runs up until Vampires. Basically, was the last good movie he put out, because Ghosts of Mars sucks ass. And he even claimed he basically
Vampires phoned shit, bro.
Yeah, Vampires was good, and as Paul pointed out, that was like probably his last successful film.
But
Ghost of Mars, though, he phoned it in on, and I think he even admitted that. But yeah,
but it doesn't have the same touchstones, right? So I think that's also what Paul was alluding to. Like, you can put all the ingredients together, but if it doesn't, it has to resonate. There's got to be a touchstone there that everybody can get to.
And mean, again, there's the honesty of the director. The Fonda could never duplicate the success of Easy Rider.
Never, no.
So sometimes it's just lightning in a bottle. There's so many accidents in showbiz, from TV to movies. It's hard to it's just hard to evaluate. As William Goldman
Carpenter
said,
was very ahead of his time.
Anything.
Yeah, no one knows anything. And Carpenter, though, I think his big thing was he was ahead of his time more so than anything.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, what was the one that was a Halloween?
Yeah,
right? Well, Halloween is the one that really kind of put him on the map originally.
The Fog,
Firestarter.
He's a shit, man. He's.
I mean, the guy was seriously knew.
He's not dead though.
Limits.
He's not dead.
No, but he's retired. He is full on retired now.
I have to ask though. I mean, you have a great classic, right?
As far as director, I mean, yeah.
You have a great classic like Firestarter. Who in their right mind thinks they can remake that film and do better or equal even?
No, I don't think so.
Depending on how much big of a check you want to write to Stephen King.
But that's not. Yeah, I understand. But that's not my point. I mean, who has those huevos, right? And whoever it is.
What did he even have to do with the original one? I'm sorry. He did Christine. Is that the one you're thinking about?
No, Firestarter was a Stephen King book.
Yeah, but he directed the movie. John Carpenter.
Yeah, no. I was just saying, but the IP is Stephen King's. Wasn't that one of his books? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think did Carpenter was any of these movies originally Carpenter IPs?
Halloween,
Well, Halloween,
maybe.
The Fog,
vampires.
Well,
His son
Starman?
was attached to the
Born-
to the remake.
Escape from,
that maybe was.
Escape from New York.
Escape from New York.
Big,
Yeah.
Big Trouble wasn't original IP. Well, it was an original IP though, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
think he's done a lot
Yeah.
of original
I
stuff.
believe, yeah. Assault.
The
on
only
Precinct
unoriginal
13.
IP that he didn't do would be Christine, which was
Mhm.
the Stephen King one he directed.
That was a
Thing.
Stephen King adaptation. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
The-
the Thing, which was a remake or readaptation of The Thing. Yeah,
Which was one of the best things.
but it looks like he was attached to it at one point. Maybe that's where there's some confusion for
But
Paul here.
what I'm confused is that is he part of the new stuff that they're trying to do with Escape from something?
No, he said this is he goes outside of Halloween where he's doing the music and some consulting on which he did.
Mm.
Most of these remakes, unless he's involved in that capacity, he says my involvement is I put my hand out and they put a check in it.
Oh, damn! Honestly,
And that's
bitch.
about it.
Hey,
Yeah.
He's not kidding either. He's like when Halloween happened, he was like, he had that stupid conversation with Rob Zombie about like, make it all his own, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
But at that point, it didn't matter to him. All he gave a shit about was they paid him.
He's like
Yeah.
the Liam Neeson of horror directors. Because Liam Neeson is just taking shit. He's like barely
He said
wears a bag of-
taken. You said
wears a
taken.
bag of money, and then he just shows up.
Can you please stop fucking taking my daughter?
oh
Can you
god,
stop it?
I'm
Can-
sorry. I agree with whoever's originally said he's the worst fucking father ever.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times does your daughter get kidnapped, you asshole?
Like,
It's kinda like-
lock her up in the closet for God's sakes.
Well, there's this new movie out, right? There's this new one called Memory. It's out.
I'm here to take your daughter. Okay.
He's an assassin, but I guess he's got Alzheimer's now.
So he forgot about his daughter in this one.
I swear to God, dude.
Polly,
He's like, we got your daughter. He's like, I have a daughter.
We
I have a
haven't-
very
couldn't finish it.
special set of skills. I
Yeah.
forgot what they are.
No, literally, that's one of the scenarios where
There's-
he's like,
I just
Can you tell me
wrote
what they
Paul's
are?
next comedy skit. That's it.
like, yeah, he breaks into to someone he's supposed to kill, and he's like, and then he goes, it's so bad, it's so fucking bad.
So, but didn't he make like 4 or 5 films this year, Paulie? I mean,
Yeah,
he,
man,
He,
the marksman.
he was like Nick Cage in his ass
Okay,
off, and he's like,
Before we go too
Well, he's
far
making a
with
lot of
this,
Netflix stuff too.
I was
The
going to say time
Ice
out
Road
before we
movie that he
go.
made.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Before we go too far with the
I
whole
gotta
Liam
go.
Neeson thing. Okay, Paulie's got to run, but I was just going to say,
oh,
let's be careful because when guys usually do these kind of movies, that we find out later there's something wrong with them. So let's just be careful that we don't go too far. But yeah, but thank you, Paulie, for being here.
That's the only thing.
Is
that's
that
wrong
what it
with
is? Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm
Okay.
purely joking. I didn't think. I
He's
don't
dumb.
think anything's
I
wrong
don't
with
know. I'm
Neeson.
curious.
Yeah.
So
We
like,
love
yeah.
Liam, but hey, I'm
No,
just
no,
saying.
Well,
we
yeah,
love him.
no, but that's the next thing
Absolutely.
we know. We get some story about him being sick or some shit. I hate that.
I don't know.
Well, that would be
I don't want
terrible.
to wish
Yes.
that on him. Damn,
know what?
I'm
I
not
know.
saying
Why
that,
not?
but
Are you trying to bring that into the world, Tom? What is
Yeah.
that?
no. Well, what the fuck? Look at what we did to Bruce Willis and
We're
shit
just,
all that time.
well, no. I was about to say we didn't do it. Bruce Willis. God bless that man. Now nobody made fun of Bruce Willis. We're just goofing off, having fun here
No.
The fuck?
with
I'm gonna go.
John
Oh.
Wick, they just killed a
Good
dog.
seeing you guys.
Not just. So
All right,
Take
Paulie.
care, Paulie.
Good to see you,
Bye,
buddy.
Paulie.
I love that man.
I just get worried when actors start doing a bunch of cheap shit movies in a row. It's one of those
It
things.
does.
that bothers
It
me.
is concerning. I mean, it does seem to be a pattern.
That's what I'm
But
saying. It's not like
they're
I'm
offering
wishing it.
so much money.
Well, that's just
Paul,
it.
So, Paul, you're going to be in a bad movie for $6 million?
No, I won't because I'm independently well off. I don't need any of it. So I can pick and choose whatever I want to do. And plus, I can no longer remember lines. So no one's going to want me in a movie.
I can't
Well, so-
remember lines either.
Well, you and
I
Bruce
used-
Willis have a
Oh,
lot in
God.
common there. It sounds like, I guess, but
No. You know what? The thing is, you've also got the problem as a performer. It's not just you. You have a company that you're supporting.
Yeah.
You are agents. Other
right.
accountants,
agent,
and
manager,
Yeah.
accountant. Yeah,
they are living off you. I remember
you
going
the brand. Yeah.
Yes, I was with my daughter when she was really teeny, and we saw a skater girl, whatever her name is, perform.
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Oh,
And I said, so this teeny thing on stage, she has to support everyone on this stage.
Yeah.
The management. These are people who have now committed to her for at least a year, maybe more. So she has to keep doing this stuff because she's now a corporation. And Haley went, "Thanks, Dad, for telling me. It's completely took all the magic out of the performance."
Well, no, but it's very true, and it's something that some people, especially, that we should bring it up a little bit more often, probably, because it is something that factors into a lot of what we do on a daily basis and talk about here on the show, and it's something that people don't take into consideration. It's like, okay, sure, so and so got this amount of a payday, but as you get bigger, more and more of your money goes towards your entourage, and by that I mean, you have like half of or more of your income goes out the door to your agents and your managers and your publicists and your this and your that.
If you give a shit about having an entourage, I mean, like Johnny Depp was quintessential in that regard. But not everybody.
Well, when you're somebody
does
as
that.
big as Johnny Depp, you are an enterprise, and that's exactly what Paul's saying. Yeah.
Not entourage. So the thing is,
Well, no, I just meant that as your crew, like your people.
The thing is, people are expecting to have a living, maybe up to 5 years. So it's not just the one thing you're making. You are employing an individual that, let's say, they're a good person, and you go. I mean, when I was employing lots and lots of people, and my the salaries were $1.5 million a month or something that I had to cover. There are people who I just didn't want to lose. And as a performer, as the head of the corporation, there's going to be people that you're not going to want to lose. So you're going to be paying for these people, even if you're not like actively working. No one talks about that. These individual actors in corporations and people who have committed to them for a long term. So it's
well, and this also factors into the whole.
That's probably why he's like doing all this shit.
Well, and this also factors in on a larger level when it comes to these movies too, right? Like when we talk about when people are like, oh, well, it made X amount of money, it should be profitable. It's like, well, no, this is how this works.
Right.
First of all, the theaters keep their cut, and then when they get the money into the studios usually have to pay out certain percentages to different production houses and producers, depending on who has what net and gross. And that's where some of these movies, like I said, that movie math is an amazing thing, folks. It always depends on who's asking whether or not a movie made money.
And line up who gets paid out first. The bank.
Yeah.
Well, the financier.
The financier usually gets paid out first, always, and then always the loans and all that kind of stuff. Of course.
First in, first out is almost all. Well, you know that, Paul. That's just
But the audience might not know.
No, for the benefit of our audience, though, these are things to consider when you talk about how much does a film make, how much is it going to take for a film to make to become profitable. And when you have these bigger paydays, it's when somebody was smart enough, like Jack Nicholson was when it came to Batman, and he got one of the biggest paydays in history because he had a hell of a back end deal for Batman. And not only did he get money off the film, he got a large portion of all the Joker merchandise.
Good for him.
And not only that, he got final sign off on a lot of shit. In fact, there was a couple of things that never made it to market because he just never got the time to sign off on it, which is sad. Because he's like, later on, he's like, oh, I would have totally signed off on it. I just didn't get to it in time for them to be able to mass produce it for the Batman.
I'm going to make a porn film called First In, First Out.
I think somebody already did that, and his name was Harvey Weinstein. But...
Starring Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, shit.
That's all you need to do it, you jerk. Ah!
I just did that. Okay.
You did that. You did a thing. You did a thing.
I did a thing.
You're gonna get so roasted, bro.
Oh, it just got worse. I just went into my Google AdSense settings because Steven taught me this tonight, and I just turned on. I didn't realize you had to do this, but I just turned on. Yes, allow ads from alcohol companies.
What?
I'm like, oh,
really?
Shit.
I didn't see that before. I'm gonna have to do that.
Dude, boost me up.
Dude, I was like, sensitive categories. He told me about this. Like,
Weird.
yeah, you have to actually go in and physically tell because they're automatically blocked from alcohol and gaming and betting companies. I'm like, so you're telling me two
Wow.
of the highest paying, highest revenue sources on
Yeah.
YouTube? I have
The
to go
best
tell
CPM.
you? I'm
the
like,
best CPM.
I'm like,
Thanks.
yeah, allow. I'm like, I sit here and drink bourbon. I would love to get a sponsorship from Four Roses. Hi, I'm Valiant Renegade.
Well, it's
and,
not just that. It's a. Well, this is more of a thing. Like if you're a channel that whether or not want your advertisements geared towards adults or kids more so. But yeah, I mean, that's a good thing to know.
Like all of us,
that.
like none of us mark our videos, made for kids. Like I've been pondering starting another YouTube channel that would involve Renegade Junior, like us fishing and stuff like this, called Renegade Outdoors. Like if I do that, I would check made for kids because like YouTube stipulations are you don't ever check that box unless it involves kids. It would involve kids in that case. So I would check made for. I would not like check off allow alcohol ads, even though I wouldn't give a shit. But I wouldn't do it in that case. But for my channel, yeah, why not?
Made for kids has huge negative implications.
Yeah, Copa. Yeah, Copa's a pain in the ass here. So,
well,
but I'm sure as long as you're good to go, though, you get the toy ads. But yeah,
you do.
Yeah,
but
YouTube tells you like if you check off made for kids, like this video needs to, it needs to have kids in it doing things like with kids and stuff like this. So that's where they draw the line, which I understand.
Well, here's the thing, Paul, and this is what I was getting at, Valiant and Culture. Real quick, I'll let you go. Sorry. After
yeah,
this,
I'm gonna run out.
Like the reason they do this is so basically, and there's got to be an incentive to it because they made us do this shit so far back. It's like, okay, people must be gearing this towards kids for a reason other than partially, yes, it's because you can only get on certain apps. I get that, right? And I know certain people are just doing it for nefarious reasons. I get that as well. But there's got to be another side to this. For YouTube to give a shit, there has to be a monetary reason for it. And that tells me that if you can get in there and you're one of those really good ones that people watch a lot of, you probably get the really good fucking ads, like the toy ads and shit. Culture, is that what you're going to get at or what?
Yeah, no, I was going to agree with you. And like I said, I mean, the fact that we're already alienated from the two biggest advertisers makes none sense.
Right.
Anyway, I got to step out, get ready for my
You do,
stuff.
because we're going to send people that way. So do head over to Cultures after the show. It'll be attached to this.
Stay here, though.
I'm looking for the 647 numbers.
Okay,
Culture.
I will send out. I'm going to send you those in personally. We'll do it tomorrow in Midnight's Edge in the morning. I want the biggest possible audience for that. So,
and I might stop in later for a little bit. We'll see.
Good.
I'll think about it.
Good.
I'll do like you do.
Oh, you're such a jerk. Bye.
I can be. Headless Ned Shorts gifted 5 Midnight's Edge memberships, but this was actually Mr. Grant Gregory. It sounds like he says, "Oops, I gifted from my other account."
And Mr. Grant Gregory has just doxed himself, apparently.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, I think that was more on purpose. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that. Lord Kamina has also been a member for 8 months at the minimum effort puppy level. Thank you for that. And of course, I want to thank all of you guys out there for watching tonight. And of course, I want to thank Paul for joining me here on the show the whole time, hanging out with me and just talking nonsense. And I love
That's what I'm doing
having these conversations where they're not necessarily predicated on what's going on in the news.
with my Loch Karen sweater right from Scotland.
You're kind of like a Canadian Mr. Rogers.
Genuine. That's right. Genuine Canadian Mr. Rogers. But I didn't Roger any Canadians.
Can you say fuck off, boys and girls? It's time
Fuck
to
off,
go.
boys and girls. That's what I'm telling you. There's no place like home.
So get the fuck out of here and go there.
know?
You haven't got to go home, but you have to get the fuck out of here.
That's right. They'll bring me a beer.
Yeah. Go to your parents'
Oh, I like that.
kitchen. Go
You
to
can
the
take
fridge
my
and
life.
send me a beer.
But they'll never take my cardigan. I like
That's
that.
right.
Action Cam.
I want you to go
Good job,
next
Action
door and ask for a beer.
And send it to P.O. Box
Yes.
555. Anyway, Christopher Dominguez is now a member. Holy crap. Thank you so much. As are so many others like Sander, Guagnar, Neil has been gifted a membership, John Capola, and Bryant Barth. Welcome to the fold, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your support and Happy to have you here, and on behalf of Mr. Grant Gregory. And with that, Valiant, anything else you want to plug on your way out the door as we close down this week?
No, I mean, if you missed the live show earlier, you can catch that. WW Pro had a funny little, like,
Yeah, I
5 or
heard about
7
that.
minute. Yeah, I didn't. We were trying to watch it. So what we did was we sent the audience to his little 7-minute premiere that was like, you have to do a 1-week anniversary video, which he did. So we sent everybody there. And then as soon as that premiere ended, he sent the audience here to Meade. So we did this round robin thing. So go check those out. And yeah, appreciate everybody. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary. January 29th, I think, is the Sunday that we're going to do the 2-year Valiant Renegade anniversary show.
Nice.
That's my plan. And I think as of right now, if I can get my act together between now and then and just get it done, we will launch channel memberships on Valiant Renegade at that point. So
Maybe I should start celebrating milestones, and maybe I'd actually hit some. Yeah,
that could work. Who knows?
maybe.
And you just got another member chat.
We
And
did.
we're gonna wrap up then, Tom, so I can.
We're about to wrap up here right after Charlie's member chat we got here, and then we're going to close it out. We've got Charlie, who's been a member for a few months here, and says, Liam Neeson is doing a new Naked Gun movie. Have you guys heard anything about that? No, just that it was announced.
No, really.
Yes, this is true. And I think he's playing the Frank Drebin role or whatever. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be
Oh,
interesting.
God. Okay.
I have a feeling they're going to kind of do it in like probably more like a hot shot situation. Cause like, they had Charlie Sheen in that, right? Who actually was an action star, but.
Well, no, but Naked Gun, is it supposed to be a joke because it was Leslie Nielsen?
Yes.
And now it's Liam Neeson?
Maybe. Oh my
Maybe.
God. That
I mean,
would be very.
I'm
funny.
sorry, am I the only some bitch that actually
No,
noticed that?
I guess
didn't-
maybe I didn't really draw the comparison very well, but I mean, I guess, yeah, I see that, I
Hey,
guess.
listen, all kidding aside, he has the gravitas to pull it off.
He does.
Again, yeah, I'm willing to give him a chance with it. Yeah.
He's Irish, so he must have a sense of humor.
We'll
You
have
know
to
what?
see.
I prefer Freud's opinion of the Irish. You cannot psychoanalyze the Irish. And I agree with that because I am very much part Irish.
And think of how many
Try
daughters
it,
he's
fucker.
lost. He needs a comedy.
Yeah.
So no, I think
Maybe they'll have that as a joke in the.
I love the guy. Look, I love these actors that were trained to do theater and
Yes.
trained to do. I mean, these are the best actors, bar none.
The only thing Liam is not
So-
trained in is potty trained. I've heard. So
what?
you haven't heard about. That's what I was saying earlier too. Like, yeah,
I missed that one.
He's well known for pissing himself.
And you have another member chat.
Oh, well, geez. Thank you, guys. Holy crap. Michael Gonzalez has been a member for 3 months. Says, support your uncle in the basement playing D&D, boycott Hasbro, support open gaming, or your uncle might come up and make you play
Oh,
a
okay.
thief.
Valiant, maybe you can answer this question. The Hogwarts Legends or whatever it's called, why are
Legacy.
Legacy, why are what is it completely a function of there's a certain group of people who hate J.K. Rowling that are telling people to boycott the game, or is there some other reason? Like,
No.
what is
No, you hit the nail on the head, Paul.
That's it.
The whole reason for this pseudo boycott, which is going to fail its ass off.
It's already failed.
This is going to be one of the biggest selling video games of all time.
Yeah.
Not just of 2023, but of all time. Yes, you have this cabal of nut jobs out there that have now for
Well
the
put.
last several years have made it their lot in life. We love Harry Potter, but JK is a T-phobe. And it's like everything that is Harry Potter now has to be burned at the stake.
Right.
Because J.K. Rowling, who is a very liberal woman, she is not a conservative in the least at all. But J.K. Rowling had, sanity. And she went out there and she just defended women. I don't like what's being done to women by my friends here on the left. I don't like what's and she was immediately sent into persona non grata status.
Purgatory.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is a tempest in a teapot. It's a bunch of
Yes.
wankers out there that
Yes.
are pulling the same chain over and over again, and they're just they're just out trying to cancel the game because JKR is involved. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I
that's
was
what it
really
sounds like.
rooting for like Final Fantasy 16, their summer release this year, to be the biggest game of the year, which it still probably could be. But now I'm really pulling for Hogwarts Legacy just to stick a thumb in the eye of some of these loonies.
It looks like it's the biggest game on PS5.
I was gonna say
Yes.
the beauty of it is most people just don't give a fuck about all that.
No,
shit.
no, of course. And
No.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. And when it comes to Harry Potter, yeah, sorry.
we live on this social media oasis, let's call it, or purgatory, whatever you want to call it. And we've got just an insane group of people who are desperate to try to cancel. It's the same group of people who are trying to cancel us, who
Yep.
Yes.
are part of the pop culture joy side of things. And then you've got this other side of, comfortable shoe people with blue hair who just hate our guts.
And I'll say this in closing. I know,
Yeah.
Tom, you're trying to wind it down, but just real quick, folks out there, mark my words. The success of this game, the success of Hogwarts Legacy, David Zaslav and Warner Brothers
Oh, yes.
is absolutely watching this, and they
Yep.
will be taking cues.
Yep.
And for all this, like we reported weeks ago, Pro and I, we got word from, one of our contacts that this is a serious, they're looking at how do we reboot or revitalize. There's no definitive word yet how they're going to do this, but how do we revitalize, let's say at this point, the Harry Potter franchise?
Great idea.
Yeah, and
Well,
I said that
I said
take it
far
right from
back.
this game. I think
Yeah.
I think 19th century Hogwarts would be a fascinating era to make a movie out of.
Well, and I said it before, like when I first heard everything that was going on,
that's what this
Zaslav's
game takes
priority
place
list
in.
was DC and then Harry Potter. And I knew that was going to be the next thing that was going to be dealt with.
They said that during the earnings call.
Well, yeah, he said that after, and like I said, confirming what I had heard, and that's what I'm saying is because could give a shit about Harry Potter, but I know it's the biggest thing they have underneath DC. Technically, it's bigger than DC if you look at it in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And then their next thing in line would be the Conjuring series, but that don't need to be fixed.
No,
That's
it
fine
doesn't.
as it is. That's a well-oiled machine. Leave it the fuck alone. That's why Peter Safran's where he is.
Yeah.
So
Hogwarts,
yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy takes place in 19th century UK in England, not like the Jack the Ripper.
So
era.
it'd be like Harry Potter's great-great-grandfather era, probably. Roughly.
Yeah, this is-
great-great-great-grandfather.
This
era,
is like, the game takes place like 100 years before Voldemort and all this kind of stuff. It is in the late 19th century era. It's a beautiful time. There's so much English history at that point that can be expanded upon. And if this game is a massive hit, I can absolutely tell you right now, expect to see either this will become the next era of films that they make, or perhaps this could be this could be something they will build a smaller scale HBO Max series off of.
Right. All right. And with
And
that,
what's good about 19th century London was that 50% of the people there were trans.
and that, folks, is a problem.
Hey, I didn't deserve that on that. And,
Oh,
and,
Well, I
uh,
meant for those folks who are all upset about the whole thing with. the
and,
whole
and one last
trans
thing. Are you happy about Megan's success? Valiant.
Merkel?
Me? Oh,
Yeah, no, not
please, no, not that crazy bitch.
Well, did you see my question in the chat earlier? I was bopping in and out, so I don't know if you actually got a chance.
I
to see
saw
it.
you were in the
Asking
chat.
Valiant a question, Tom. Shut up.
Yeah, but it's about Megan, so that's why I asked him.
No, we did address later in the show, Tom. I think it was after you left. I did address the weekend performance of Megan. I think it is spectacular.
Oh, good. Okay. That's
And
what
I
was
think the reason for that is twofold, and these are the points I brought up. And Tom, I don't know if you saw this because I know you just
No, I
well,
don't
you
think
just
I did.
started. Well, wait, you just started watching Yellowstone. So here's the deal. There was a brilliance level of marketing. Like it was, how do we get the biggest bang for the buck with the least dollars spent on marketing this film? And I don't know, for those of you out there watching, how many of you watch NFL games or professional sporting events, there have been so many posts from several games in the last few days. Like there were professional dance crews dressed up in the outfits, like as Megan, with the wigs and the makeup and everything. Like these are professional dancers on sports teams going out on 50-yard lines during halftime and pre-shows and all this, doing like the Megan thing from the trailer. Yep. And this has gone all over TikTok, all over social media. Yeah. This drove audiences. I binged watched Yellowstone in the last 2 weeks. Every single episode of Yellowstone, whether you had to watch it depending on its distribution level, on Peacock, on Paramount Plus, or through your cable provider on demand for season 5. Every one of them, every commercial break was a Megan trailer in there. So, I mean, this drove like a $30 million opening weekend for a horror film like this is gangbusters. That's awesome. That's domestic only.
They said it actually had the biggest opening for an original IP since Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Yep. That's just it. And on top of that, the other brilliance of this movie was what they dialed it back to a PG-13 level. Because when you put the, I mean, that expands the audience size radically over an R rating. And this was just everything about this Megan film was done smartly. I haven't seen it yet. I am dying to see this thing. I'm going to try to go see it this week, but everything about the business side of this film was done so smartly. From what I've seen, I'm in awe of this.
Well, what I said, Valiant, is knowing how well this movie is performing and kind of overperforming, let's say, because it's overperforming compared to what they thought it was going to be. I'm curious how many theaters we had that were sold out, and the theaters couldn't open up another screen for it because they were obligated to Avatar and everything else that was out there.
This is the last weekend for Avatar's
like I said, I asked. Okay, yeah, and that's what the thing I was going to ask, because I also asked again. I had a family function today. And when movies were brought up, I did make a point to ask those who were talking about it if they'd seen Avatar. In fact, when I did bring it up, my one cousin's like, "Oh, I was going to ask you if you've seen it yet, because I don't know if I want to sit for 3 hours in the theater with a kid." Yeah, you know, actually kids, plural. And I said, "No, I haven't seen it myself yet. In fact, I said I haven't talked to anybody offline who has seen it." And then my other cousin piped up and goes, "I ain't seen that yet, but I did go see Megan the other day, and that was fucking awesome." And then he proceeded to tell me about it. And I'm like, you know, and we got into a whole discussion. I'm like, well, did you see the Child's Play remake that came out? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, how'd you compare it to that? And he's like, oh, yeah, and I said, that's the funny thing about the Child's Play remake is when they made that, it was like, that got in the way of itself. Like it being a Child's Play film. If they had just done this as an original thing, called it Buddy, and it's your Wi-Fi friend, like it would have been the same thing as Megan, only it would have been 2 years sooner, and they probably would have done much, much better. Because at the end of the day, I think the original, the reboot from Child's Play only petered out somewhere about 35 million. This movie made it all in one weekend.
Yeah.
Right? And a part of that was because people didn't want to see that because they knew it wasn't really Chucky.
This was, let me tell you what, Megan, from a business standpoint, and I'm trying to shorten this up, but from the business standpoint, this was brilliant counter programming to Avatar. I mean, absolutely fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
and no, you were right. You said Megan was going to overperform, and I kind of agreed with you because I'm like, the more
I could have done better yet.
Well, you got to realize coming into the weekend after the Thursday previews, they were saying, well, Megan's going to come in at like 20 to 25 million. It did 30.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think this movie had enough theaters open for it. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's just and you're right, because Avatar 2, they had contracts, and this was even brought up in some of the reporting today. Avatar 2, they had 4-week stipulations in many of their contracts with the biggest theaters. So when I say 4-week stipulations, that means, folks out there watching, that means that Avatar 2 owned all of the biggest screens in every theater out there at AMC and Cinemark and IMAX and all this kind of stuff. They own them. Well, this was the 4th weekend. This was the last weekend. This is what I was
talking about, Valiant, when I said
Avatar
the 30-day
was guaranteed.
Thing. Yeah.
Right. And Disney's tried to do that for a long time. Avatar got that. Now, like Wakanda Forever and some of these other movies, they didn't get. They got 2 weeks at most, generally speaking. But Avatar got 4, which means that Megan, every theater that it played in was like the regular run-of-the-mill theater. Megan didn't really get much, if any, PLFs, meaning that their average ticket prices that Megan could charge for those was much smaller.
They didn't have a 3D version, for instance.
Right.
Basically.
So like Avatar's 45 million this weekend is basically on par. If you probably looked at numbers of tickets sold, which we don't have yet, but I bet you if we looked at numbers of tickets sold for Megan versus Avatar 2, they're probably exceptionally close. And
well,
Megan,
this is something
Megan might have beaten it
and I know we're gonna
because
get out
of the
here,
fact
but-
they didn't have that. They didn't have the premium screens.
Well, this is what I would love for your audience to kind of give to you and for you to look at Valiant. Because this is what I was talking about when I said a lot of these theaters are not going to like this because they're going to be stuck with this movie for so long. Luckily, it's made money up to this point.
Plenty of it.
But you had this Puss in Boots. I thought was going to make a little bit of steam, but it didn't really do as well as we were hoping. But it did okay. But they're bumping that right to VOD. They're not stupid.
They didn't
on
market
know what
that
they're
film
doing.
much, but that's
No,
they already
they
have the
didn't.
contract.
They didn't expect it.
They
Yeah.
already have the contract with Netflix for all that
It's
animated
prepaid
stuff. They don't
for,
care.
exactly.
Yeah, just like Star. We said this tonight. We said this is just like Star Trek Discovery, as reported by Midnight's Edge, by you guys. This is the same shit. Basically, Netflix is paying right now for Universal and DreamWorks to make all their animated shit, because it's going to Netflix. They have a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar contract for these things. So to an extent, they don't care if it makes a bunch of money at the box office or not, because Netflix paid for the whole shit.
I'm sure we'll see a kind of like how this plays out next weekend, and that may answer my question here. But I'm curious how many theaters we had this weekend that were sold out for Megan, where there was a bunch of theaters that were dedicated to Avatar that were either half or less sold out. That's my curiosity. Because this is a problem, and this is exactly what I was talking about when I talked to that theater owner who had a small theater who had like 6 screens, and she said it pisses her off every time Disney releases a movie, and this happened during the time of Wreck-It Ralph 2, because I can't remember what came out at that time, but ended up taking all the steam from that, and she got pissed because she's like Wreck-It Ralph 2 has to be in the fucking big theater. 2 people are in there watching it, and I've sold out of whatever it is that was the big movie at the time. I can't even remember what it was.
That's Disney's problem, is because they're losing that clout, because as Disney continues to release like dud after dud after dud, they're even with the smaller theaters like your friend, they're not going to have that clout anymore. As more smaller
the
theaters,
theater owners talk to each other.
Yeah.
NATO, National Association of Theater Owners in the North.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it.
They talk to each other. And I'd just like to say it's horrible to see that you're not very passionate about the topic, Valiant.
I'm sorry.
Well, speaking
will
of passion, we have a blue-haired fella here who's very passionate about a few things.
Here is this Muppet.
Welcome to the Late Night Culture Casino Show. I'm your co-host, Jolly.
Wrong link, Jolly.
Wrong link, asshead. We're going over there next.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. Hey, Tom. Hey, Chato.
Awkward.
Hey, Chat. I'll see you over there. Bye.
Bye.
All right,
and Action the keeper of the time, says nobody leaves until I say so. Okay, you're dismissed.
I gotta go.
And we're dismissed.
I know.
Thank you,
We're
Paul.
getting out.
Take care and have a great night, guys.
See you
Thank you so
later.
much, everybody. Good night. I gotta find my button.